And now, from Norwich, it's the Quiz of the Week.
So, hello everybody, welcome to my little 3/4 week channel update. So basically it's just a little chat, just tell you what I've been up to, and here to poke me and prod me and push me along is Chris. How are you, Chris?
Okay. Yeah, I've got you.
Yeah. Do you like my little autumn leaves? I thought autumn's officially here, so we'll put some autumnness on.
Yeah.
I personally am a fan of autumn. I do like autumn time. I put up with the summer because the summer is shorter than the seasons that I enjoy. I like spring and autumn, and I'd rather have winter than summer. I don't complain about summer because it's quite short, but my time has arrived now. So I'm happy. Right, so let's do a quick chat catch up first. So gold star for being the very first goes to Smith Speeds, who says hi Penny, and then hi all. And we have Natasha says hi all. Hi Natasha. We have the Lord Peter Webster says hi Penny.
Hi Penny.
Lord Peter Webster says hi Mike. Hi Tash. Dominique says good evening. I've got a video. I'm making a video just for you, Dominique. Hopefully it'll go out on Saturday. No, it'll go out on Tuesday because it's Warhammer related. I thought I'll try and put it out at 6 o'clock. I'm still making it. I've been doing some painting, and to give everything be fair, I'm going to wait 24 hours, but yeah, I've done. Actually, that's just giving me a lift because I'm thinking I haven't done much today, and then I've suddenly realised I did. So yeah, look out for that. That's coming out Tuesday, and it's especially for you, and you get a little call out as well. Tasha says hi Peter. Dominique says hi Natasha. Teresa says hi all. Hi Lord Webster. Hi Teresa Smith. I was waiting for this one to come. David Bassett. Good evening, Penny. Great win for Wickham yesterday up at Fleetwood. Yes, I think we do seem to beat Fleetwood with ease. But I'll take 4-1. I thought that was a very good result. Celtic won. Thanks to you, I'm now a supporter of Wishaw Wickham Wanderers, so I'm looking out for their results. And all I need now, I haven't seen any Rangers results. If Rangers have lost, that'll round my weekend up football-wise. Natasha says hi Dominique Cuckoo, hi Lord Peter Webster, hi Teresa Dom, hi David B, hi Tash Peter Dominique, hi Chris, hi Penny and Chris, good evening Chris and all in chat. Hi again Lord Peter Webster. See, you are streaming royalty, aren't you, Peter? You know, you want to make sure everybody else just gets a general hi everybody. Oh, and hi Lord Peter Webster. Hi, hang on, that didn't come up. Hi, Teresa. Hi, David Bassett, and we are caught up with chat. Lovely. Right, so what have I been up to in the last 3 weeks? Honest answer, not an awful lot. I've been trying to get things sorted out in the hotel. I've been trying to get the Warhammers sorted out. You will notice in the next few weeks, I'm quite a few weeks ahead on the Warhammers. I've actually not, after a few weeks, you'll notice I'm not going to be painting them anymore. It's a real struggle to get them out. So I'm just going to do a Zenithal highlight on them just to emphasize the detail, and then a wash, and that's going to be the video done. And then in my spare time, I'll get some painting done. And then as I get figures painted, then I'll do a little extra on the videos. So that's basically how that's going to go. Fire truck has absolutely nothing to report on because that's all been recorded all the way to the end. I still haven't done the show and tell video at the end, but I have brought my camcorder and I've got an SD card, so I'll probably get on with that in the next couple of weeks. The Eddie Stobart. Now, I did receive 4 issues of Eddie Stobart. They're actually due this week, but I had them yesterday. And I have recorded issues 103 and 104. 105 is going to look like a complicated issue, so I've not started that one yet. And unfortunately, that's going to be my last one. I'm so far behind that issue 105 is going out on the 20th of December. So issue 106 will go out on the 10th of January because I'm taking a 2-week break for Christmas. I'm going to reveal what I'm doing over Christmas. Would you like to know, Chris?
Yes,
I am doing the 12 days of Craftmas. So,
cool.
Yeah, so beginning Christmas Day, I mean, these are all going to be pre-recorded, so I'm not doing them on the day. But beginning Christmas Day for 12 days, I'm doing a different craft or a make or something. They're all going to be completely different. Some you'll love, some you may not love, but they'll all be completely different. The first one's going to be quite a simple one. In fact, the first 3 will be quite simple. The first 4 will be quite simple. The next 4 will kind of repeat the subject-ish from the first 4, but they'll be slightly more complex. And then the next 4 days will be doing it again, finishing with a grand finale on the 5th of January. And I think you're going to love it. I've been buying things. Now, I will tell you one thing that I have got, because this did actually arrive. Let me change my video. In fact, I'm going to push you into the corner, Chris. Oh, that's not good. Let's push you that way. So I have received, now this was supposed to come 3 weeks ago, but it didn't arrive in time for me to go back to London. So it came the day after I left. So it's been sitting in my pile for 3 weeks. Now, what this is what's known as an egg kit. These are, the best way I can describe these are, they're like caricatures, but for scale models. And this is what it's going to look like. Now, apparently they're really good fun to make. And I just see it as totally different. And I can't seem to get the focus. There we go. So you see, you've got a basic egg shape with the F14 details. So it is, even though it's basically an egg, you can tell it's an F14. So I'll get that made. That will be going out. This is going to be part of my 12 days of Craftmas. And that you can see that there's a few. It looks ever so simple, but the feedback I've seen on these kits is they're good fun to make. You know, you don't take these kits seriously because that is by no means a serious build. It just looks a bit of fun. So I thought, you know what? I bought the kit and we'll see for myself. I might hate them. I know there's people out there that don't like eggplanes, and that's fine. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. So that's one of the ones that I'm doing over Craftmas. The first one's going to be a very, very, very simple one, and there's going to be a couple of money saving makes in there. You know how to save yourself a little bit of money.
Especially what's going on now.
Yeah. So yeah. So a little bit. So it's just been little things to do, and I'm considering. I'm actually looking at. There it is. Might be buying this, because I thought this is it's basically, let me get up there. Right, there we go. Right, let me do a screen share with you. Even you don't know about this, Chris. It's a little bit expensive, but what it is, it's an advent calendar model.
Oh, cool.
So it comes, the whole thing builds in 24 stages, and each day you build a new stage. And at the end of it, you get a little, there's no pictures, only pictures in the description. Okay. So yeah, basically you end up with that 2CV over 24 days. But is it good fun, or is it a really expensive way to buy a little corgi car?
That was fun, to be honest.
Yeah. So look, you see, you get the different stages. Oh, it's got sound. Can you see the speaker there?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, 24 stages. So maybe we'll do that on starting on the 1st of December, leading up to the 24th, and then on the 25th we start the 12 days of Craftmas. So basically, my channel is going to be 100% unrecognizable over Christmas. But yeah, this is called me getting into the Christmas spirit, which I don't often do. I'm a bit of a bar humbug for Christmas.
Yeah.
Like Dominique, I bought a 1:48 scale F84F Thunder Streak today with Dutch decals.
Nice.
Do you know what is funny? Because I don't get excited about aeroplanes that aren't British or American, decals.
Mm-hmm.
But I never stop to think, someone who's from Holland or France or Germany, do they feel the same about their country as I do about mine? And maybe they're sitting there going, do you know what? I really can't get excited about American planes. I'll do an American plane in Dutch livery, that kind of thing. It kind of makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So Lord Peter Webster says they do look fun to build, Penny. Well, let's say I'll find out. Dominic says things sell well around Christmas. Yeah, I will admit that's 2CV. The price has gone up already. And I think as it gets close to Christmas, it'll go up even more.
Yeah, that's wicked though.
So, as I say, I've done all right. Yeah, so what we're up to? Eddie Stobart's going all right. So the gauntlet is going quite well. I've paid for the next pack, so we'll get 5 more issues coming. Right. So, yeah, so there'll be 5 more issues of Gauntlet coming out, hopefully before I go back to London, so I'll be able to film that and get that up. But to be honest with you, I'm already up to November with those, so I'm not too worried. Right, so I'm assuming everybody saw my coming soon on the other Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So let me play it for you just in case you didn't see it. Because I don't want to talk about things, then you end up going, what's she on about? So, where is it? I might actually have to look it up on YouTube. Don't tell me I deleted it. Oh, I might well have deleted it. Right, okay. Sorry, I delete things once. What I do is I make videos. I put them in a little folder called videos.
Mm-hmm.
Oddly enough, that's where you put your videos, isn't it?
Yeah.
When I've uploaded them to YouTube, I then put them into a folder, move them into a subfolder called uploaded. And then once it's actually been published on YouTube, I then delete them because I don't need them anymore. Right, so just in case you didn't catch it, this is a video that came out on 2 weeks ago, nearly 2 weeks ago, and it's just titled Coming Soon. And the reason I'm showing you this is so that what I'm about to talk about won't become odd to you. Oh, where's the play button? Oh. Is the sound coming through fine?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
That's good.
So I don't need to introduce that really, do I now? That I think everyone's... Oh, that's gone on to my channel. Right. Got a account control thing. There we go. Right. So obviously now I can talk about RoboCop because you all know RoboCop's coming to my channel. So issue 1, as you know, these part works, they come out, you tend to get 1 or 2 issues for the first pack. And then it goes from there. And I took a bit of a gamble releasing it so quickly because I don't once you start getting into the schedule, you kind of know where you're sitting. So issue 1 is coming out this Friday, and spoiler, they always give you the nice issue in issue 1. This is pretty much going to, I think this is pretty much going to be, right, you made that. Now stick it in the drawer. You're going to need that in issue 115 or something. And then issue 2 comes out next Friday. As it stands right now, this second, I don't own issue 3. Now, the Gauntlet the Gauntlet, the way that went was pack 1 was 2 issues, pack 2 was 4 issues, and every pack since then has been 5 issues. So by doing 2 issues a week, I know I'll get away with it. Now, I've paid for the RoboCop next pack, but it's only 4 issues. So that will take me to the 17th of November, which I think is roughly when basically I'm going to have a problem. It's the next pack is going to come out while I'm in London. Assuming it arrives before I go to London, I can get this. I can get the next 4 issues out. I will come back the 19th of November, and then that gives me 5 days to build that first issue, and then obviously 12 days. So I'm hoping the pack 3 will be 5 issues because that will help me out. If it's 4 issues, we actually will be all right, because I'm taking that 2-week break at Christmas. So if I can just keep that going till Christmas, it will create a buffer. So there is a potential problem there, but so far we're okay. The scale model started properly on Saturday, and the next issue of the Mosquitoes seems to have gone down very well. Now, I've decided that I'm always going to do 2 builds. One is going to be a 48 scale build fortnightly, and in between is going to be, I'm going to call it quite simply, a not 48 scale. So now you know how scale modelers go with their stashes. What the plan is for the not 48 scale is to work my way through all those 72 scale kits I got from Tomcats the other week. I'm going to work my way through those, and then what I think I'm going to do is I'll have a little chat with Tomcats, and I'll say, can I get the £200 box when I start to run out of kits? And I'll say to him, give me 1 48 scale kit and the rest not 48. Put whatever you want in. You can put tanks in, planes, whatever, anything that isn't a 48 scale. and I will just leave every 2 weeks. Will just fall to luck. And then obviously the 48 scales, I mean, they're going to take me ages because with it being a bit more of a passion, I am doing a little bit less every issue because I'm trying to put that much more into it, bearing in mind my time restraints as well. So, yeah, that's the way it's going to go. But I have bought I bought a lot of kits. I'll show you what I've got. This is going to be my next not 48 scale build.
Cool.
Show you it, and then I'll tell you why I bought it.
Okay.
I have bought this. This is the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11 Saturn V rocket.
Yeah, nice.
Yes. Now, it is an old kit, as you can see. It's originally a monogram 1968. New box, rebox, new box, and then new box. So basically, it's a 1988 kit. And it does show, to be absolutely honest with you. But there you go. That's a brilliant picture of it. So the whole thing, you get the base and it all comes in little stages. So I can build that at the hotel. And then once I've done each stage, I can wrap it in bubble wrap. And I'd be confident of being able to put that in my suitcase and bringing it home. So if I built an aeroplane, stuck it in my suitcase and then traveled 500 miles on the train, antennas, wings, cockpits, undercarriage, they're all going to get snapped off, aren't they? But I would be confident. Now, that is about, I think it's 4 foot tall. It's only the 144 scale one. I have seen the 1 to 72 scale.
Oh, nice.
But it's a little bit different. It's something I don't really, it looks fun and it looks fairly simple compared to some of the kits I can do. But I think there's going to be a lot of cleanup work on it. But it is something I can get on with at the hotel. I'll give you a very brief look at it. You can see it. Look at, that you can tell that that's old. But
that was big.
Where are we? Come on, right. So there's the sprues. Right. So look, it's quite it's typical Revel type instructions, isn't it? I won't be doing the figures I won't be doing the figures. But yeah, it's all built in stages and it all comes apart.
Yeah.
I can bring it home in stages and then I can assemble it. But it looks fun. And I've seen a few YouTube videos on it. And you're going to have to put the work in, but you can get a good result out of it. So the only bit that's fragile really is that limb. But as you can see from there, stage 31, it goes inside the stage. So you plonk that in the stage, pull those little bits up, and just put a bit of masking tape on it for good measure.
Nice.
I don't need to bring it home in that completed stage. I'll bring it home in stages. But look, it's big. It's huge.
Is that a rocket pattern?
It's a rocket. This is the first first man on the first men on the moon.
Yeah.
This is the rocket they went up in.
Oh, that's cool.
This is I'm assuming, I don't know an awful lot about spacey stuff, but because it's Apollo Saturn V, I assume it's the 5th one. No, wasn't there one that didn't actually end up going into space? It was aborted. So I think this might have been the 4th rocket, but it was the first one that actually landed on the moon. Yeah, right. Let's do a quick chat up. So I'm sorry if I miss any comments out. There's a load of highs. So Dominic, I saw that with another YouTuber. That Robocop is very big. To be absolutely honest with you, that falls under the category of I blame building with the boys. Because when he did one of his little chit chats, I think he said something along the lines, because France had been doing it for ages. And let me take that off. Yeah, France had been doing it for ages. And when you look at it, the advertising and that, it doesn't look that good. But once you actually see it being built, in his words, it's a beautiful model. And it's one of those nostalgia builds. You know, I actually remember seeing I didn't see RoboCop at the cinema because I grew up very poor. I was very much an Oliver. Please, sir, can I have some more? So I didn't get to see that many things at the cinema. But when it came onto TV, it was like I was very, very small at the time. I can't remember when it was released, and I absolutely loved it. I was so taken back by it. So it's one of those childhood things. The one next part work that would absolutely complete my life would be the spaceship from Red Dwarf, and that is finished. That, die happy. Don't need any more in my life. So Ian Fraser says, hi all. Hi
Ian.
Hi Lee. Looking forward to the Apollo build. Yeah, I mean, look, I've got no track record on YouTube about my scale model builds. It might come out one of the best models that's ever built on YouTube. It might get binned halfway through because it's a pile of junk. I don't know. But we'll give it a go. A lot of these things I know how to do it. It's actually doing it. But see, I think it'll suit a build in the hotel because quite often I get an hour, and then tomorrow I go to work, and then I get half an hour, and then the next day I'll go to work and I might get an hour or an hour and a half, and that suits prep work, doesn't it? You know, if you need to spend 5 hours sanding a piece down, and you only get an hour here or there, then you do it over 3 to 5 days. But there's then no pressure because I can start on that in 3 weeks, and then that will be released when the locomotive finishes. So this is the plan, is to get 4 models on the go at once, 2 48 scale builds, so that then once one is finished, I've got 4 or 5 videos lined up for the next build. That then gives me a lot of time to get the next one started. So I've got this few weeks ahead of myself. The drawback with being ahead of myself is I have probably the most wonderful YouTube viewers in the world, and they'll give me advice, and they'll go, oh, Penny, what you need to do is this, right? Then they'll see the next video and they'll go, oh, why didn't you do this? I said in the last video, and I'm like, yeah, because I'm 8 weeks ahead. I can't put your advice into practice until I've made the next video. So it gets a little bit awkward sometimes, but yeah, trying to get things ahead. Another thing I bought, and I brought this home. I think I might have shown some people. I bought this because it made me smile, and that's the only reason I bought it. And it's this, the Revell Swift Boat Mark 1 in 1:72 scale.
Cool. Yeah.
And the reason it made me smile, basically, if anything makes me smile, I want it, because I think that's what scale modeling is all about. Now, I think it's fair to say they've got absolutely everything in this. I think I've shown this on A-Stream before. So if we go to stage, there we go, stage 5. It's even got a kitchen sink.
Yeah, I remember it said that.
Everything. That's what made me smile. So if a kit makes me smile, it deserves to be spent money on, as far as I'm concerned. But there's the hole. You can see how big it's going to be. It's not going to be incredibly massive. However, I have a problem with it. There's no clear parts come with it. So I've contacted, I forgot the name, Hobbycraft. contacted Hobbycraft because that's where I bought it from. They've contacted Revel, and they're hopefully going to get me a spare clear screw for it. But it's all right. I'm not in a rush for that because I'm probably not even going to start that one until after the Apollo because it's a not 48 scale kit.
Yeah.
So that'll come after the Apollo. Do you know what? Thank you. That reminds me of the film Apocalypse Now. Do you know what? It reminded me of something, and I couldn't think what it was, and now you just told me.
Nice.
Building with the Boys. We've just been talking about you. Been talking about you behind your back. Let me do the chat in correct order.
Yeah.
Evening, Lee. Oh, sorry, not commentating much. I'm concentrating.
Concentrating. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's I think she does like the silly words that I use. Well, quite often with the kids.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm constipating. Evening, Lee, Anfield Road. Good evening, Penny, and on the chat. Evening again, MP. Hi, Manuel. I've never seen the movie. I only know I was 2 when it came out, 1987. So I was 12. So it was just the perfect age. So Building with the Boys, the reason you got a mention, it's not totally your fault, but I'm now starting the RoboCop. To be honest with you, because it's a nostalgia build for me, I probably would have built that. It's like the Terminator. I only got the Terminator because I remember the Terminator films. I really do want the Alien. But I think I'm pushing it. But I'm hoping, because that's a Hachette build, isn't it? The Alien. I'm hoping that Agora picks that up. And when I've got less on the plate, I can do it. I am. Do you know what? I keep saying I'm going to back off on the part works, and I just end up doing more, don't I?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's. But you're a big influence on me getting the RoboCop. So hi, Lord Peter. Hi, David. Kitchen sink. Yeah. So like I say, I cannot think of a better reason to buy a scale model kit than it made me smile when I saw it. Is there a better reason? So that reminds me of the film Apocalypse. Evening, Penny. How are you? I am absolutely fine. How is your son with his entertaining wrestling? Has he got any more fights lined up?
Oh, cool.
If you've seen that channel, Building with the Boys.
I subscribe.
Channel, yeah.
I subbed you as well, Building with the Boys. So yeah.
Yeah, I do like that channel. I'll be absolutely honest with you. I watch the catch-ups more than I watch the builds. You do a few builds that I'm not building, but I do like your little weeklies.
Nice.
And it's great. And it just builds that personal relationship up. You kind of you feel you're friends with, it's like he's almost doing a personal stream to you. That's the way he comes across to me. I know everyone's watching it. So this kit from Revel is very good. Is that the Apollo Saturn V, or is that the boat? Because they're both Revel. But we'll see. Listen, right, I'll be honest with you, right? I've been out of the scale model game for a lot of years. If we went back in time to the late 80s, early 90s, I could give you fairly valid opinions on what kits are good and which kits aren't. As I'm discovering, things are changing. I remember not liking Revel, and I remember hating Airfix. Airfix I thought were terrible kits, and now I'm looking at the Airfix kits that are coming out. They're some of the best kits out there by the looks of it, and I think I'm almost ashamed to say I'm becoming a bit of a fan of Airfix. So Tamiya kits are good, and then I watched a video. It's a video out there called "Why Tamiya Kits Are Awful," and it's basically Tamiya kits are awful because they're such good kits. You don't really use many modeling skills on them. which is a very valid point. And one of the models that I did, I don't know if I've got it. Yes. So this one, I can't even remember what it was. Right. Now, I started building it, and it is absolutely, truly terrible. It's such a bad fit. I had to do so much work, so much sanding, so much filling. I've had to cut bits away to make it work. And someone actually said to me, but won't you appreciate it when you finished it? If it comes out good, you'll appreciate it. And I'm like, no, I don't mind doing a certain amount of work, but I spent more work cleaning that up and adjusting things in filler than I did actually doing following the instructions. But I've got to that stage and it is pretty good. And now I'm starting to look at it and go, I made that. I worked hard on that and it looks all right.
That's
And
good.
so maybe this guy who says Tamiya are terrible actually has a very valid point. Do you want a kit that puts itself together? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, again, see, the thing that we forget, well, I don't think we all forget it. We're all individuals. Now, there'll be people out there that don't rate their skills at scale modeling, might have just heard that comment that Tamiya puts themselves together, and they'll go, oh, lovely, Tamiya's obviously the kits for me, you know, as a confidence booster. You know, you do have a minimal amount of work to do on the Tamiyas, mostly just filling in the odd seam line and that. But it's not hard to do. And then once you start doing it, you can then work on to another kit. So, you know, it's horses for courses, isn't it? So Lord Pete Webster says, hi, Scott. Dasher says, yes, I always say it ever since. I had a feeling you said that on purpose.
Yeah, long.
Lord Peter Webster, same age as me, Penny. Smith Speeds, 1987. I wasn't born. We missed out on a lot of life, I'm afraid. Sorry.
But you wasn't.
You can do the transparent parts in acetate, Penny. Looks more real. There you go. This is why I just said it. What, 5-10 minutes ago? I've got the best viewers in the world. MP Model Plastic has now suggested a way that I can actually do better than replacing the missing part. David Bassett, I was no, we won't mention that. So Natasha, I was 2. Right, Penny, if the hobby shop has it in stock, can they still get the clear parts out of there? No, they don't seem to remove parts from other models. They actually have to get from the spares. But as you can see, a few comments up, maybe I don't want the clear parts. You know, acetate looks like, do you know what? Actually, I like that idea, because if I buy a sheet of acetate, it's a skill I've never used before. So, you know, it's something I'm going to have to learn how to do. And because that build is coming after the Apollo Saturn V, it's not due out for a long time. It gives me plenty of time to do it. So I can attempt it 4 or 5 times. So yeah, I'm going to do that. You know, you need to learn all of these skills. Otherwise, how will I ever become a great modeler if I don't do all of these? You know, oh, I'm a fantastic modeler, but don't ask me about acetate. You know, that statement doesn't work, does it?
No.
So Dominic says they do that here in the Netherlands. A lot of people say, I believe once a part work builder. Yeah, I think you're right there. I think I'm not, because the thing is, and I'll say this later on, my scale models, I look, the way I plan them like a scale modeler, like a part work modeler. And that's how I plan to build all of my scale models. You break it down into small parts and build it like a part work builder.
Yeah.
Right. Anfield Road layout in the loft. says, hi, Scott. MP model says the boat. So good. So I've got myself a nice little kit. Building with the boys. Thank you, Penny. It's very kind of you to say. Not being kind. I'm just being truthful there. David Bassett, I built the 1-144 Airfix Saturn V model many, many years ago. We will have to compare notes, Revel versus Airfix.
Yeah, that was cool.
MP says, I like the Revel Germany because they have good quality comparing with Revel America. I'm also told their customer service and Tamiya customer service is fantastic. So I'm pretty confident that I'll probably get those spare parts before I go back to London. My only part work decision is buying the Titanic build, as it's not really making me want to start the build. But I said this about Doll's House and I adore the build. Yeah. So while we've got the guy in the chat, I think the person who said it the best, and I've always said this about motorbike journeys, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. Because I'll be honest with you, a lot of these models, I don't really care about them much once I've finished. I mean, that Terminator sits up on the shelf, and everyone who sees it, they go, wow, that's wonderful. And then I'll talk about it. But I don't bat an eyelid about it. I don't go, oh, I must go and play with it. I really enjoyed the build, and I enjoyed the community. And same with the Route Master. And I'm really enjoying the Eddie Stobart. The build is fun and the community is fantastic. And the same with the scale models. But I care more about the journey than I do about the destination.
Yeah.
Well, sorry to steal all of your quotes, Scott. But yeah, I can see that. I do have a partial regret about not doing the Doll's House. It really isn't for me, but it looks like it's such a fun build.
Yeah.
Dominic Higu, Revel has improved a lot over the last 6 years. Not that I have much experience in model making, but I have compared old kits. Yeah, see, I like the old kits. I'm actually starting to think about doing a lot more of the older kits because A, you get them cheap on eBay, and secondly, they are a bit more of a challenge, aren't they? But don't go wrong because you can't get spare parts for them. Little History, evening all, big hi chat and panel. Hello, Little History. Very nice to see you.
History.
Lord Peter Webster, I think Scott would agree part works is an avenue of modelling today. I kind of agree and disagree. I think the part works are getting less making. I mean, I've got somewhere, I will continue at some point, the Flying Scotsman. Now, that all mostly comes in the form of flat pieces of brass fret, and you have to cut them off, clean them up, fold them, glue them, or solder them, or whatever, then put them together. And that's what I call old scale modeling. If you get a train build today, you'll get a piece and you'll get some screws and you'll get your free screwdriver in issue 1. And it's more of a something you do with your family. The grandkids come round.
Yeah.
But it is, see, I think the more we talk about what is modeling, it's everything's all making, isn't it? And if you're making something from nothing, or, you know, my desk is a mess. Right. So I'm turning this little bag of bits into a massive model. That's making. Whether you want to disagree with it, it's in the same category as scale modeling or not. It's all in that category. If you're making something out of something else, no matter how easy or hard it is, it's all model making. And we're all under the same umbrella. And it's the same with the diamond painting. You're making something out of something that looks like crap. A bag of little plastic squares. What's that about? Put them together and you've got this amazing picture. So, yeah. Do you Any of you remember the Matchbox 2 and 3 color plastic kits? Some of the small tanks came with a little diorama. Were actually nice little kits. I think most people agree that Matchbox were great. I built quite a few of them. I thought they looked quite funky unpainted. But yeah, I had quite a few aircraft from Matchbox. I used to enjoy them because Matchbox did my favorite aircraft of all time, which is the Carmen Sea Sprite. That came out as Matchbox. That was a big old kit, actually. I wonder if I've got. Yes. So yeah, you can imagine one of my first. So coming back into scale models, I had to buy it, obviously in 1:48 scale, but the Carmen Sea Sprite. But placing that bit on the Matchbox one was an absolute bugger. I will tell you that for free. If anyone can do it, well, everyone can do it better than me. But yeah, the Doll's House is such a pleasure to build. Yeah, so it sounds like the same as my Swift boat. If it puts a smile on your face while you're making it, it's exactly what it should be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, hi little history. Lord Wick, hi Terry Buddy. People give Penny the thumbs up. Always appreciated. I'm starting a new saying. No, right. I don't know. Well, I'm going to perfect it because I'm not stealing it off. There's a YouTuber and he says, no likes, no Tahiti. Dominique, I need your email, bud, for invites to show and tell. Mine is on my about page. Oh, I'd love to see Dominique on.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. The Loco kit I have to build is brass and white metal parts. Yeah, it's the same as my Flying Scotsman. There is a plastic bit, the actual, what do you call it? The long straight bit that goes down the length of the boiler on the front. That bit's plastic, but other than that, it's all white metal and brass.
Yeah.
Little history, Lord Peter Webster, hi mate. Yeah, there you go. That's probably a better way of putting it. It's a makers community, basically. Yeah. Are we scale modelers or are we makers? Are we part workers or are we makers? I think we're makers. Love Rebel, by the way, not had a bad kit by them. Perfect. Building with the boys. I agree about part work. So I do part work models because they fit my lifestyle. Spare time is minimal, so I have to model. I can spend a little time each month on it. It's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I had the large Matchbox Puma kits, never got to build it. Was sold off with the rest of my models and die-cast collection when I got married back in 2001. Priorities, eh? It's like that E-Type Jag you buy yourself, and then you get married and a child comes along, and the wife goes, "You can't put a baby seat in the E-Type Jag. You're gonna have to get yourself a Daewoo or something." I like very much the Matchbox. It's the beginning of my yeah. I think Matchbox and childhood are two words that go together, isn't it? Dominique says, I can't participate live every week. Trust me, little history, I am trying to get him on live. I'm trying very, very hard. Anfield Road layout in the loft, good stream. Lord Peter Wester, I first started building models in the early 80s with my nan buying me a box of 12. Oh, you lucky person. A box of 12 1:72 scale Airfix kits to build with my dad. Yeah, I was building when you could get kits from the newsagents back then, and I used to I used to do a paper round, and I'd give the newsagents a pound, and when I had enough saved up, I'd buy a kit. And then sometimes people, and I can remember big old, because I was a 1:72 scale modeler back then. when my great aunt died, she left me £20 or something in her will. £20 was a lot of money back then. And I went out and I bought the privateer, and I built that with such care because it was my auntie's inheritance money, and I loved that kit. And I don't know if I loved it because it was a good kit and I enjoyed it and it was a lovely subject matter, or because of where the money came from. I don't know, but I did love that. And if I could find that, to be honest with you, I'd be happy with the old 1:72 scale kit. I can't remember what manufacturer it was, but I'd love to do it in 1:48 scale, but it's big. Dominic, no need to take part every week. I send the invites out to quite a few people. Yeah, he sent me a few invites and I've not been able to respond to all of them. Only join if you have time, otherwise ignore the invite. Okay, little history. I'm going to send an email at little history. Yep, £20 was a lot. But you cheeky little bugger. I'm not quite that old. So, right. So what else is there? There is, right. So when let me show you these because I'm loving these. So I try to go out on my days off in London. I try not to spend too much money because I am in London to earn money, not spend it. And one of the things I started doing this when I was doing coach work. When you do a tour somewhere, I'll try and pick up a fridge magnet. So this one I got from the Natural History Museum. I quite like that, except it's not going to focus in. Yeah, I quite like that. So that's gone on my fridge. That was £4. I thought that was quite reasonable, which is coincidentally the same price as this one. I love the Imperial War Museum. If you ever now, I've done the RAF Museum, and there's another museum I've done as well. Now, Science Museum I went to. Go to the Science Museum first because they do a little bit on a lot of things. It does make you feel old because you've got this big wall and it's got all these various artifacts like a chopper bicycle, old telephones, a ZX80 computer. And I'm looking at that and I go, I remember that. Oh my God, I'm old. But one thing that it blew me away, they got a mathematics section and they've got a copy of Lotus 123. Does anyone remember Lotus 123? I don't expect you to remember it, Chris.
No, I don't.
So it was a DOS-based spreadsheet program. And that is the program I learned to do spreadsheets on. And now I'm a spreadsheet geek. I mean, I use Excel now. And I do all the fancy macros and everything. But if it wasn't for Lotus 123, I probably wouldn't be doing spreadsheets now. And they had a copy of that in Science Museum. Unfortunately, the History Museum, I was having a bit of a funny day. I got there. I mean, these are all free entry, and then you give a donation if you want to. So they didn't. Well, I just donate a £5, but I got into the History Museum and I just didn't feel it. I just didn't feel like being there, so I turned around and come home. But not before seeing the farmers market. I bought a wild boar burger for £9, 8 macarons for £12, and 2 bottles of apple juice for £7. And I think the highlight of my day was on the burger stall. We had it's right next to Imperial College, which, as far as I'm aware, is one of the top universities in Britain. And so you've got to be smart to go there. And one of the students comes up to this burger guy, and she goes, "What's the difference between a beef burger and a wild boar burger?" Well, I just had to walk off, didn't I? Because if I hadn't walked off, I would have said something. But yeah, Imperial War Museum, I absolutely loved it. I got chatting to one of the women in there, and she was telling me, you've got on the bottom floor, you've got First World War. Next floor, you've got Second World War. And they don't just do the Second World War. They continue it to just past the Second World War. So you've got this little section about being demobbed. And basically, you've just fought for your country. And then they go, bog off, you're no longer in the army. Here's a suit. And that's it. Bye. And that's it. Then the next floor up, you've got the Cold War. And there were some really interesting things. Again, the Cold War bit made me feel old because there were quite a few events there that I remember. But look, they've got, that's a piece of the actual Berlin Wall. So I feel a bit honoured to see that. They've got bits about Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
Things like that. That's everyday life in Ireland. You know, we're tucked away in our nice safe houses in England. Oh, I don't know what that is. Oh, God. And yeah, the Irish are going through that. Sorry, that's Lambeth North.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's one of the suits, the demob suit. It's like, you just fought for your country. Here's a suit, no bog off. Just, you know, but that's government for you. Little things like this, a little CG-125. This was in the Helmand province. And nice scratches and things on it. It's just little things like that. That's a window frame from one of the towers for 9/11. That is an actual piece of the tower. It's the steel window frame was lifted from the ruins of the North Tower. The burnt and twisted metal still graphically expresses the sickening violence that destroyed the buildings.
Mm-hmm.
That one I got for my lodger because that's something to do with Kosovo. They sent someone to Kosovo to do something, and that's what he's come back with. And I can't remember what that is. That's something military. That's something Cold War, because there's a thing in the back. Oh, it's atomic bomb. Something to do with. I'm going through these backwards. Normally what I do is I take a picture of the plaque, then I take a picture of the actual artifact. So I'm looking at the item going, what's that? And then I go back, oh yeah, that's what it was. So that was a model of a typical house in World War II with the shelter there. That spooked me, because in World War II they had their shelters and stuff. But if you were a warden, that was your air raid shelter, because you had to be on site. And it says, during air raid covers, most people took cover in public shelters or in shelters in their gardens. Others stayed in their homes and waited for raids to pass. Air raid precautions, wardens, fire watchers, police and firemen had no such choice. They all had to deal with the impact of a raid as it was happening. And it was like, when an air raid happened, you got in that. You didn't know if you were coming out. How bad is that?
Mm-hmm.
Is a wreckage from... Oh, that's a wreckage from a midget submarine. Sorry to do all this on my phone. A few models. If I saw models, I took photos, because some of the models have got weathering and all sorts going on.
Nice. Yeah.
Now that is, here you go. Now I'm going to send those to Dave, because I'll do it the proper way round now. So they've got a Lancaster cockpit. So I got in there and took pictures as close as I could. Anything like that, I'll try and take close-up pictures. Because, I know modelers will use them for reference pictures. Is it possible to have too many reference pictures? I personally think not.
Exactly. Yeah, I was going to say that.
Yeah. So that was the Lancaster they've got there. What else have we got? We've got, oh, that's a Mitsubishi Zero. That was accidentally found. But they found a British bullet in that one. Sherman tank. Bulldozer. Like that car. That is Monty's Humber staff car.
Nice.
Trying to find, there we go. Every time I see a Merlin engine, I'll take a picture of it. I must have so many pictures of Merlin engines. Now, that was a car that was bombed in Iraq, Baghdad.
Ooh.
That was a suicide bomber. There's some uniforms. I took a surprisingly high number of pictures in the World War. Now watch this. They've got a trench there and they've got this projector.
Mm-hmm.
And that is so eerie because those images, you don't know if they're friend or foe.
Yeah.
It could be someone coming to kill you. It could be someone bringing you a beef stew or something. You really don't know. And I found that really spookily eerie.
Yeah.
And I sat there for about 5 minutes watching it. There you go. There's the trench they've built. Yeah, some of these little quotes, like writing a letter back to your family. Excuse the finger marks, but I haven't had a real wash for 11 days or a bath for 55. You know, that's the reality of World War One, wasn't it?
Yeah, crazy, huh?
I impressed someone. I looked at that and I went, male tank. And someone looked at me and I went, yeah, male tanks have got cannons, females have got machine guns. So But yeah, no, I really enjoyed that there. Look, this sign, do not stand about here. Even if you are not hit, someone else will be. But yeah, I had a really, really good time there. And you go to a museum for a particular bit. You know, obviously I've got more of an interest in World War II. There you go. That was a press vehicle damaged in 2006.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the marks in the windscreen. And that's outside. Oh, that's my Spitfire I'm doing for a woman at work. But yeah, I had a really, really good time. And I actually enjoyed myself possibly more in the areas that I didn't specifically go to see. You know, I enjoyed all of it. But, you know, it's like I've come to see the World War II stuff. The World War One just happens to be here. And the Cold War stuff happens to be here. But I really enjoyed those bits.
That's cool.
So, yeah. Right. So the acetate sheets I told you, Penny, can do, for example, a broken window if you cut with a hobby knife and to give an effect of lightning broken. And even parts in the glass effect, it's very cool. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, if I buy myself an acetate sheet, I'm going to use part of it and I'm going to get bits left over. What do you do with the bits left over? You either stick it in your spares or you do some experiments with it.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
I used to restore motorbikes and scooters. Airfix made a model of Monty's Humber. There you go. So if I can ever get hold of that kit, straight back down to Imperial War Museum, 200 pictures for reference pictures.
Yeah.
Merlin engines are a piece of art, in my opinion. Will not disagree with that.
Mm-hmm.
You see Top Gear when Clarkson drove a car with a Merlin engine in it. What a monster. No, but I've seen Guy Martin drive the car with a Merlin engine, and yeah, that is a monster. And that is caught up with the chat. So the next kit that I bought from the Imperial War Museum is, don't laugh, it's not actually as great a kit as I thought it was going to be. the last flight of the Concorde. Now, the reason I bought that, I saw it. It had been reduced. Actually, I got a little bit done on it. It had been reduced in price, and I did a very quick look on Google, bearing in mind the phone signal isn't great in the Imperial War Museum. And this was £36, and it was on Google for over 40 quid. So I thought, yeah, I'll pick that up. And when you scroll down, you can see that I can pick it up for 30 quid, 32. So I didn't do so well there. Now, the reason I bought that is I was actually, when that flew into Filton in Bristol, I was living in Bristol. I actually was within walking distance of Filton Airfield. My address was actually Filton Avenue, but I lived you've got one end is quite close to where the airfield is. The other end is in the city centre where the Bristol Rovers football ground is. I was close to Bristol Rovers football ground, but I lived Filton Avenue. I just happened to have a day off that day, and I went down there with me sandwiches and me flask of drink, and I watched that come into Filton.
Cool.
So, is there any excuse for me to not do it? But you can see that it's a Reeboks with new decals and a Reeboks of that, and it looks like it's a 1966 kit, probably. And there's the instructions, but it is a starter set, gift set, packaged as something special, and it looks a bit like you build that in a day. And I've seen a build video on it, and apparently those doors are absolutely atrocious. But it's, that's it. That's the entire build. In fact, look, the undercarriage looks more complicated than the rest of it. I will do it wheels. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to have to do it wheels down, because I would ideally, because I've seen that coming into land, I would want that coming in. But the nose is in the wrong position. That's flight mode, that nose, isn't it?
Yeah.
Unless I could figure out some way to cut that. But yeah, I'll build that one quite simply. I'll put that in flight. Maybe I'll get good enough and I can do a little diorama, and maybe I can do the Clifton Suspension Bridge, because that's the iconic picture, isn't it? The Concorde flying over Clifton Suspension Bridge.
That'd be nice.
And that's it. It's such a simple build. Almost an insult, but it's fine. Right, where are we up to? So that was the same car. Wouldn't like the fuel bill, though. No. No. What's it? I forget how many litres the Spitfire is. The de Havilland Aircraft Museum at Salisbury Hall, Shenley, London, Colney is well worth a visit. I will visit that one day. It was actually here where the prototype Mosquito was built, and still here on display. Yeah, what I need to do is get myself on earlies, then have a day off after I'm on earlies, get to bed early, get up really, really early, get on that train, and then I can spend a day somewhere, and then I can come home, and then hopefully, try and persuade them to give me a late, an early shift with a day off and then a late shift. So Dominique's made a Concorde. The biggest challenge for me there is white. Now, obviously, let me get rid of that screen share. With a Concorde, is going to be quite simple. There's going to be very little weathering, especially if it's depicting a special event. They would have cleaned every inch of that Concorde, wouldn't they? So the only weathering you would do on that is one flight. So there won't be much weathering to do, but it's a bit of a challenge. I've never really thought about like panel line washers on a white clean aircraft. You need to make those panel lines stand out, but you don't want to weather it. So there's the little challenge there for me. MP Model Plastic, very good. It's an icon of it is. The day the last Concorde flew in service into Heathrow, I flew out from Gatwick to Corfu with my kids. Little history. Do it with burst tyres, more authentic, you meaning. Yeah, but then I'd have to do Air France colours then, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
Don't forget to put lead in the nose. I forgot. Do you know what? I'd like to think that when I come to build it, I would put lead in the nose, but I hadn't really thought of it until you just mentioned it.
Yeah.
White matte Tamiya. What, and then gloss coat over it, because they are glossy, aren't they? Right. Would you like to see what's coming in my parcel, hopefully tomorrow? I'm just going to preempt you all going, yes, please, Penny. I do want to see what's coming in your
one. Yeah.
So I have been saving, as you may or may not know, is a company that I use a lot, MJR Hobbies. And they do this wonderful little savings plan. Actually, it's a bad idea because all I do is I pay them 10 or 20 quid a week, little standing order, and they have a little savings club for me. And anytime something comes in, I can just order it. And if I haven't got enough money, they'll stick it on the shelf. And then once it builds up, and obviously there's no point me having a big delivery just as I'm going to London. So I try to time my deliveries so they turn up when I come home. So they posted this package on Friday. I was hoping it was going to come yesterday, but it didn't. So hopefully it'll come tomorrow. So I have got this coming. I saw it on Andy's hobby headquarters.
That's cool.
And I'm like, it's 1:16 scale. It's huge.
Wow.
It's flipping huge. And I just like the paintwork.
That looks awesome.
Yeah, now I've learned a few skills in airbrushing. I'm just looking at, I can do that with my airbrush. So that's coming, and I thought that was quite cheap for what it was. I didn't pay that much because MJR are cheap. In fact, MJR Hobbies, they got a bollocking off Airfix because apparently Airfix don't want you to sell kits for less than 10% cheaper than Airfix do. And they got bollocked because their Airfix kits were too cheap. That's how good MJR Hobbies are. I've seen the instructions for it. This is the instructions for it. Look at all those sprues. Just a couple, isn't there?
Yeah.
And I love the decal. I will confess, I don't love the decals. Look at that decal sheet. It's hardly any. So I'm thinking about doing that as though it's a part work. So we'll do that first 4 bits of stage 1 in week 1, and then the next 4 in week 2, and then maybe those top bits the next week. So there's about 4 weeks. We'll just do it nice and slowly, and then just piece it together. I mean, I'm new to tanks and tank-like things.
Nice.
And what I quite like is Andy's hobby headquarters. All of these panels, he didn't glue them in because the engine detail is absolutely amazing. And then to just glue panels in over the top, and then it's a bit annoying if you have something that's got super detail and then you never see it again.
Yeah.
But it does look amazing. And it looks even better painted, obviously. And obviously this company's, they've done some proper research, look, and they've got some proper reading material with it. So yeah, I bought that because it just looks amazing and it looks interesting. So the next thing I bought is the Avro Anson. The reason I bought that is I've seen a few YouTube videos. Let me just catch up on this because Peter's going. I'm going to go now. Penny got early start in the morning, got builders and window companies. Take care. Thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, take care, Pete.
Yeah, so I've seen a couple of YouTube video builds on this, and they're nothing other than complimentary, and it just looks. Let me show you. Look at this bit inside. All of this framework. And it just goes together, look. And if you like satisfying clicks, you get about 20 out of this one.
Yeah.
It's just the way that everything goes. It goes together really well. I mean, there's a lot of windows, so you've got to do that insides properly. But it even comes with, where is it? Can't find it. It comes with a little book. It's only a decal, and most people aren't. Maybe I'm confusing it with another kit then. But there was a little decal of a book, and people were like, don't stick the decal on the table. Put the decal on a piece of card or something, just to give it a little bit of thickness. I might be confused. There it is. Look, stage 13. You got a little lamp and a little decal, which represents a book. Oh, sorry. It's because I didn't do the share screen. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it was confusing. I was looking at the tank still.
You know what I was talking about. Right. So, yeah. So, sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. So, yeah, that's the kit. So, obviously, all the blurb that I've gone through, it still applies. But look, stage 13, you got this little book. Obviously, that's a really thin decal, so I'll get a little bit of plastic card and I'll stick that on, and then I'll stick the plastic card on. But look, it looks lovely.
Yeah.
And it fits together so well. Look at those instructions. That's not a new kit. So for it to be that well engineered, and it just, I'm just watching the videos. About 3 people I watched building it, and I'm just like, I'm smiling while I'm watching the build. But it's, let's have a look at this. Oh, it's a new tool. It's a new tool, 2022 tool. So why do the instructions look so old then? That's odd, isn't it? It must be a copy of the instructions then. It must just be like a remold.
Possibility.
Can't see any dates. If anyone sees any dates. Well, it's fairly new because the telephone number is a new one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 11 digits. I assume they're cartograph decals because the Airfix tend to use it cartograph, don't they? Maybe it's just the quality of the scan then. You think they'd put copyright somewhere, wouldn't they? Copyright 1957 or whatever. No, there's no dates on it. Normally they put the date on the side of the box, but on Scale Mates, people don't scan the box in because who wants to see the side of the box? Anyway, so that's the Avro Anson, and it just looks a nice kit. So Douglas A1H Skyraider, I hit a double jackpot on this one. I bought this. I've been building it as a just as an off-camera build. It's kind of gone along the routes of experimental, trying new techniques. Let me show you. If I do share, I will remember to do the share screen. So this is a collection of doing things for the first time. And I think it's just turned out really nice. The decals, I've not used those solutions before. The black basing on the wings. And P40F20, who was a very valued YouTube viewer as far as I'm concerned, he said he would have liked to have seen that being built. So okay, I'll consider it. Obviously, the point in favour of it is that that's what people would like to see built. The point against is I've already built it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, this came up. This came up.
That's cool.
Wingfold with metal gun barrels. Then I knew I had to buy that.
That looks cool.
So I think I'm going to have to cut that wing. So I'll do that stationary with its wings folded.
Yeah.
So, and that actually wasn't very expensive. I don't think I paid that much for it. This is actually a really cheap kit. You know, if I said to you a large 48 scale kit for less than 40 or 50 quid, you'd go, oh, that's 24, 25 quid.
Yeah.
I don't think I paid that much for it. The last thing I've got coming is this book from AK Interactive, Modeling from Scratch. I'm hoping that will give me a little insight into scratch building, read the book, maybe learn something, and then take that learning further. But it seems, I mean, I've seen a few AK Interactive books and their layout works for me. You know, they do very, very pictorial and pictures. I'm one of these people, I need lots of pictures to help me with the, you know, reading and understanding.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But yeah, it's, you know, I don't think I'll become an expert in scratch building from reading one book, but it'll give me a little bit of a basic knowledge and then I can take it from there. So, because, you know, I think sometimes I look at things and I'm like, yeah, if I could do this, that, and the other, and I might need to learn how to do scratch building for the Route Master. Because if you ain't got the part that you want, you're going to have to make it, aren't you?
Yeah.
So that's my catch up, guys. Oh, I need to show you these as well. Right. So Pete West says good night all night, Peter. Night, Peter. Not saying I'm sorry about the answer. Technical difficulties. Pennies have ever built the gas patch models. They are very good, like wingnut wings, but cheaper. Big. I'm going to. I have my book. I have my Ripperologist pen. Gas patch models. I promise you, I will look that up. That's written down on my pad. So one more thing to show you. It's not anything amazing, and I don't ever win anything, but I bought a milkshake from McDonald's. They're doing their double peel thing. One of the prizes that they've got is personalized magnets. And I won some magnets. So I got 9 made up. And you get the magnets for free, but you still have to pay the postage. So this is what I've had made up. Because I have to have Shadow immortalized as a kitten forever.
Yeah.
I cannot believe how little he used to be. And I'll put him there because I'm going to show you. Now, this is Shadow and Spirit on the chair together. Now, in this picture, he's smaller than she is in that picture. She's much bigger than that. I think she's nearly double that size in a month. And then we've got, I don't think he really wants to be there, but he's enjoying the fuss. He's kind of 50-50. I love being fussed, but I don't like being held. That's what that look is to me. So this is a little Spirit on her own. If I can just get the focus. She's a lot bigger than that now.
Yeah.
This is, I'll save that one for last. This is, I just love that pose. She was just hanging out of the little bed, having a little look. That one's being saved. That one's being. So there's the two of them on the bed. And then I had to get Nymeria. This was quite a funny one. The truth behind this one, she was under the covers with me, and I did pass wind, and she came up. Now, I'm pretty sure it wasn't. That isn't really a, oh my God, it stinks under there. I'm sure she just coincidentally came out of the covers at that time, but that was just the timing. This is the two of them together. She stole his bed and he went, sod it, I'm still sitting in the bed, whether you get out or not. So he just lay on top of her. And then this is the two of them. It looks like they're cuddling, but the truth is they were fighting and they fell asleep while they were fighting. But I'll go with, oh, look at them cuddling each other while they're asleep.
Yeah.
But I lost her a couple of months ago, and I knew I had to put some pictures of her on. But yeah, I got nothing magnetic in the hotel, but I wanted them for the hotel. Just, I'm one of these saddos, but I take loads of pictures and I can always look at them on my phone, because I do have to have a word with my lodger. He is not sending me enough pictures of cats while I'm away. And I don't know if he realizes how important that is to me. I actually had a couple of nightmares last week that the cats had gone missing and no one told me. And then, of course, my paranoid brain was going, oh, is that why he's not been sending me pictures? Because the cat's got out and he's too scared to tell me. And that's how paranoia works, isn't it?
Yeah.
You start rationalizing unrational things. And to be honest with you, the reason he didn't send me was pictures, because he probably had better things to do. So MP says they have a site. I will look that up, I promise you. Beautiful photos, Penny. Thank you very much.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah, good memories. This is why I took loads of pictures when they're young. I'm not taking as many pictures because I'm away. But they just get up to daft stuff, and I try and get things in the moment. This is one from this afternoon. Now she's tends to lay where I'm laying, but I'm like, I went for an afternoon nap, and as you can see, Shadow beat me to it. He's actually got himself under the covers. I didn't put that cover on him, so he's actually got himself under the covers. This is them last night sitting underneath my desk. He likes to kind of hide up, but he likes to be close. And then she just goes wherever he goes. And then they were happy sitting on my lap until I put the fire on. They do love that fire.
Nice.
But as you see, they are getting on rather well. 1 minute he's trying to kill her. The next minute he's grooming her. So, yeah, and this is me when I come in the door yesterday, because I couldn't believe how big she'd got. I opened the door, walked in, and I called them, and the first thing I said was, "Oh my God, the size of her."
Yeah.
She is just, well, they do. You kind of forget with Shadow, he was just growing at a rate of knots. But I was working at Flixbus at the time, so I was seeing him every couple of days. So you don't really notice the growth. When you disappear for 3 weeks, it's a huge change. In fact, come up. So I don't know when you guys last saw Spirit, but this is her now. She is huge.
Yeah.
She just loves any contact.
Cute.
But yeah, but I've got to teach her to look before she leaps, because she just dives straight in the bath. And one of these days, because Shadow did that once, I just had a bath and I let the plug out, opened the bathroom door. Shadow comes bolting in straight into the bath because it's full of bath water, wasn't it? And ever since then, he'll come in the bathroom, he'll jump on the side, have a quick look, then jump in. Whereas she just jumps straight in. Because I normally, when she comes in the bathroom, I take her out. So it's a bit of a race against time. As soon as I open the door, she's straight in. So one of these days, she's going to jump in the bath. It's going to be full of bath water. And but she lay in the bath. When V's had a shower, she'll come in. Obviously, the bath is wet from the shower water. And she'll just come in and she'll jump in the bath. And then she'll lay down in it. And I'm like, what are you doing? Cats aren't supposed to like water, are they? They don't like getting wet, but they like playing with water.
Mad one.
Yeah. Right. So good memories. Good evening, Hall. Plastic Alchemist, how are you? Have you seen my Spitfire? My blasphemy? This is the Spitfire that I'm doing for a friend. Most of the West Ham supporters agree that it's blasphemy as well. Oh, hang on. I'm over there now. So it's a Spitfire, but in West Ham colours. I think it looks hideous myself. But that just came from a bit of a joke. The woman at work, because she goes, "Oh, scale modeling's weird." I'm like, well, you're entitled to your opinion. And then we were talking, we said like, because West Ham won that Conference Cup. So they're some form of European champion, not the European champions, but they've won a cup. And of course, West Ham fans claim that they won the World Cup because of how many West Ham players were in the England squad in '66. Yeah. So that just naturally evolved into, oh, maybe I should paint you a Spitfire in West Ham colours, and then you can claim you won World War II as well. And she goes, that'd be nice. So here I am doing a Spitfire. I don't know, because I got that Spitfire as part of a Best of British set. So I've got a Hawk. And I don't know whether to do the Hawk in West Ham colours or just stick with the Spitfire. But it suddenly occurred to me that between the first and the last kit that I got as an Airfix Club member last year, and the first and the last kit that I got as part of the mystery box, and the Hawk that I bought as part of the set to buy the Spitfire, I've now got 5 Hawks. And I've been looking up decal sets, and there's some nice little schemes. But the other way of thinking about it is I'm only four Hawks away now from the Red Arrows, aren't I? So is that something worth doing, do you think?
Yeah.
Do the Red Arrows, 9 of them flying in the diamond.
Mm-hmm.
What I did want to do, I wanted to do 4 FA-18s painted up in Blue Angel colours, doing the Lost, what do you call it? I've forgotten what it's called now. They have a formation, Lost Man. It's like you have 4 of them, and then one of them just flies off. It's like in memorial of soldiers lost. So, yeah. High Plastic Alchemist. Looks good. Looking forward to the final result. It won't be as good as your monstrosities that you paint. Absolutely no chance there.
Yeah.
Hi, Dominic Koku. And that is it. I think that is it. Mosquito I'm struggling with at the moment. I know what to do. It's just getting it done. Maybe I'll feel better tomorrow. And then I've got to start some more on the locomotive. So that is where I'm at. So I've got to stay in all day tomorrow. I need to go and get a haircut, actually. I've not had a haircut in months. So I'll probably be down the hairdressers at 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, nice.
So, I'll see what I can get done. And then I'm back to work on Tuesday. Do you know what? I'm going to read that as, well, at least mine are proper monstrosities. So for those of you that don't know Plastic Alchemist, well
Yeah.
worth subscription. Definitely well worth a subscription.
I
So
will
what?
take a look at that.
Yeah, what he does is he does live builds. He paints or makes scale model aircraft, but he gets viewer feedback on the colors, and it's pretty much the viewers control where this aeroplane's going. Now that sounds like a recipe for disaster, you know, when you're letting your viewers dictate what you do, but it's not like that. I mean, what was it you did the other week? It was something with purple and silver camouflage. I forget what it was. Was it a Sweden? No, were you with Ukraine markings? Was it? I don't know how many of those three statements I got wrong there. I said the gnat in pink and silver. I mean, how awful does that sound? Gnat in pink and silver. But it was a fun build. You know, if you like, you know, if you just like live builds for the banter, then that's a good channel to go on. Right, so we have, I'm going to rest, Penny. Have a good night. See you next week. Thank you ever so much for popping in.
Yeah, nice to hear that.
Oh, only sometimes, otherwise I would be doomed. Oh, that's all right then. So you do dictate what you're going to do occasionally then, do you? It was beautiful. Well, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, isn't it? We love the banter, and have a good evening, Manu. Yeah. Oh, cats have just decided to kill each other. Yeah. I can hear Shadow running down the hall going, "Ah!" And Shadow, Spirit's like, uh-oh, run away. No, you know what? She's half his size, but she gives as good as she takes. So it's all good. But yeah, Plastic Alchemist, definitely well worth.
I have subbed.
Yeah, you ever watched some of his videos? They're really good fun.
Yeah,
right. So I can't think of anything else now. Still in drunk my IPA. I even brought. Don't know what I've done with it. There we go. I even remembered the bottle opener.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's no problems. I always try and be honest. So usually, so when you say you dictate one and viewers dictate the, what you do one build and then they dictate the other, do they? Who decides on the actual model? Do you or do they? You know, did they say, I think we should do a gnat, and I think it should be pink, and I think it should be silver? So yeah. So one last question, guys. My fire truck is due to finish just before Christmas.
Yeah.
Do you think I should perhaps do the half track on the Monday and do it like a part work? Or do you think I should fit it into my scale model days and do it like a scale model? By doing it as part work, what I mean is, here's stage 1, and then the next video, here is stage 2. And stage 3 might be a 5-minute video, and stage 4 might be a half an hour video. It's just how it goes. So I don't know. But then again, you know, there might be something else come along. Sorry, when my phone beeps, I do check it because you don't know what it is or who it is. Could be changing my duties. I'm expecting. Work has given me some duties. I'm doing 4 different bus services in one day. 3 of the routes I don't even know. So I messaged the boss and I said, "You giving me routes I don't know?" And he went, "Oh, it was a mistake. I'll change it." So I'm waiting for him to change them. Although I can't see him changing them at 10:15 on a Sunday night.
Why not? No.
So so how I do that half track, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm just thinking, because the thing is, there's one thing that's niggling on me, and I shouldn't let it bother me. 3 different people in not so many words has In fact, one person actually outright said, I won't be able to build it, it's too complex. And I have a firm belief that if you break everything down into small sections, anything is achievable. And you know what, I don't know, because I'll be building that quite far ahead. If I get stuck on a bit, I can afford to wait 2 weeks and do a bit of research. I think I'm confident. I wouldn't buy it if I didn't think I at least had a chance of doing it. So, and I know I shouldn't let it bother me. But you know, two or three people have sort of said, yeah, you won't be able to be, it's far too advanced. So, but I think advanced builds is just a collection of simpler things. You know, don't necessarily look at it as a half track. Look at it as a track, a wheel, another track, an engine, a bonnet, the bodywork. You know, when you break it down, it's a collection of about 5 or 10 different bits, which then go together. Yeah, I know that is rubbish. You do what you like. Yeah, I know. It shouldn't bother me. It really shouldn't. And it obviously has, because I can see the faces I'm pulling because I've got the monitor. Yeah, that's it. Look, anyone can build anything. Take your time and research first. Well, it's a bit late now. I bought the model, but I've done the research, as in I've looked at the instructions and I've seen a couple of videos, and I will be looking up YouTube videos and reference pictures. And it will be an out of the box build. It won't be anything extraordinary with the weathering. It will be my typical build. It's the snapshot is it's going to be sitting in a museum. So I'll probably age it up a little bit, but it'll be refurbished. It'll be old but well looked after. So it won't be full of mud and muck and stuff. There might be the odd oil stain and stuff, but you know, it won't be fresh off the factory floor. But it will be a museum piece. That's how I build all my models, museum pieces. Panel lines will be done. Might be a few scratches. I quite enjoy doing scratches and muck where the driver or pilot's feet are. I quite enjoy doing that. Just give it a little bit of color change, little things like that. And I know all my viewers will give me feedback. And
exactly, that's all good, huh?
Yeah, I've got a few builds to do before then, and I listen to all the feedback that I get. I may not necessarily respond to it, but I do listen to all of it. And yeah, I might learn something next week that will come in useful for that build.
Nice.
You know, everything gets stored in the skills bank in the head, doesn't it? And sometimes I'll print things off, like research notes. I always store things when I research stuff, and pictures and things. I store them on hard drives, and then I can go through them all. And what I found as a kid doing scale models, I was okay, apart from I did do the fatal thing. I couldn't, because I was an enamel brush painter as a kid. I couldn't paint white. White used to come out chalky because I didn't know at the time if you thin the white, it goes on better. And I painted a lot of US Navy. So, a lot of my white came out terrible. But all of I thought I did an all right job. And I'd probably say that meaning I did do my best on it. But they were all clean. And then I got back into the hobby via figure painting, and there's new skills to do in figure painting. And then when I got back into scale modeling, there's skills. What I find is if you've only ever done figure painting, there's skills you don't know about that they use in scale models. And if you've only ever done scale models, you know, I've seen scale model builders, and I've said, oh, I can, you know, I do this. They go, oh, that's a good idea. It's like, yeah, we use that a lot in figure painting. And then there's things you do in scale models that I now reapply onto figure painting, and it's all one helps the other.
Yeah.
I can help with tag. Yes, you did send me those pictures of the weathering. Yes, I will probably be in touch with you. I don't want to heavily weather them. I just want to wear them a little bit. You know, it's a restored vehicle that might have been used a little bit. Maybe they've done demos at the museum, so I don't mind a bit of wear and tear. I don't want them brand new, but I don't want them looking like they've just gone through a swamp. Yeah. Might do that one day. And I can see I've missed a comment out. I'm just editing a video on personalized the wood base as remembered that you want to do the same. Yes. So I've done right. So I've had a conflicting bit of advice on the Cricut. I spoke to someone in Hobbycraft, and she's basically said, just buy the maker. Just go in and buy the maker. Because if you do, you know, you'll do so much with it, and the more it can do, the more you will do. Now, she's talking from a general crafting point of view. I really like the idea of doing etched brass plates, but I also think that making a mask and then spray painting over the mask is probably going to be sufficient. And I also like the idea of basically what we're going to do is we're going to do wood plaques to put the models on. I'm then going to use a Cricut machine to make masks. And now there's a technique I've seen. What you do is you put a mask on, a stencil, and then you mix this chemical up. It's got some kind of acid, and you mix it with something else, and you paint that over the stencil. So it's only going to make contact with the wood where the stencil allows it.
Yeah.
Settle for a bit. You remove the stencil, and then you get a hairdryer and you wave it over, and where the chemical is in contact with the wood, it will burn the wood. And where there's no chemical on the wood, it won't do anything. So you actually end up with a burn, and it looked like I burnt the name of, like, if I have a bit of ship, if I do a ship and I do Bismarck, and I've burnt the word Bismarck in, and I quite like the idea of that. And of course, if you're making stencils, you can select a different font. You know, you can go out and buy plaques for ships and things. Is there something monkey scale? Excuse me, scale monkey or something. But the font on the plaque is always what they decide. And when they do the brass plates, it's always the font they do. Whereas if you're making your own, you've got so much more freedom. But I do think that maybe that basic Cricut machine will be absolutely fine. The basic one is about 150 quid. The top one is about 400 quid. So I'm looking at buying that just before my holiday. So it'll give me a week to play with it. But what I'm looking for is sheets of masking tape, rolls of masking tape, but like A4 widths. I don't know if it actually exists. I've seen A4 sheets of masking sheets. You know, we're talking with the backing paper on it, and they're like £2 a sheet. Now I messaged the company. They do 20-meter rolls of it, and it works out an equivalent price of 7 pence per A4 size sheet. So I'm like, I want to find some, but I don't want to pay £2 a sheet. No way am I paying that much for masking sheets. So the only other alternative I can think of is to get thick rolls of masking tape, stick that onto the cricket mat thing, and then do it one line at a time. But,
yeah, cool.
So yeah, you have Tamiya masking sheets. Yeah, but they're expensive. They're really expensive. Really expensive.
Yeah.
So it's because of Plastic Alchemist that I'm one step further to do, because it's an expensive purchase, that cricket machine. I won't buy it until I've done enough research on it. And it looks like 99% of my uses can be done on the basic machine. I'm just worried about what if I find a feature and I don't know what to do that. And now I've got to buy another machine at 400 quid, because you won't get 150 quid off the expensive one just because you own the cheaper one. So if you buy the basic machine and then you buy the more advanced one, you've effectively paid 550 quid for the machine. So we'll see. We'll see. I will get one, but so yeah, right. So that is it then. So are you streaming tonight, Chris, then? Or do you want to just continue, or
guys, if I do a stream tonight, there will be about 11.
Right. I'll probably watch that in bed. Because you see, I feel I feel awful, and I don't feel awful, Chris, because you stream just about every night anyway, don't you? So just to fill people in, we actually share this streaming, this Melon account. I don't do that many live builds. And because Chris has now got into the diamond painting, I told you it was addictive, didn't I? So he's now streaming nearly every night doing his little Swansea. Do you want to show it off, Chris?
Oh, yeah, go on.
I know you will. You will disgust some people. Love Minis, I've not seen you in ages. How are you, my lovely? Love Min, sorry.
Yeah.
She has 2 accounts.
Yeah, this is what I'm doing on the screen.
Let me get you on Spotlight. There we go. So we bought him, a few of us bought him a diamond painting for Christmas, and we didn't know what to get him. So we got him the Swansea City badge, and he's absolutely loving it. And
yeah, it's good. I don't well on that.
Totally hooked on diamond painting. So that's the evil. The evil has won over by getting you addicted.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do feel bad that you can't stream when I do, and at the same time I don't, because you do stream a lot, and I don't have an issue with that because I know it makes you happy. There are times that I'm like, because I was going to do this stream last night, but Chris had already booked in a stream, and you can't stream 2 separate. Actually, we'll have to give that a try, Chris. I don't think we can do 2 separate streams running at the same time.
No, I don't think we can.
Maybe tomorrow early afternoon we can do a little 5-minute stream. You do one to your channel, and I do one to my channel, and we'll run them both at the same time, and we'll see what happens. Will there be a clash? Because if it works,
yeah,
we might have managed a massive exploit. Because I know we're already technically being naughty, because basically what we do is I pay the bill and then Chris pays me half. And then if we get anyone else who wants to use it, we'll just reduce our payments and we'll all pay a third. And then I can see if this actually works, we might get you might have a group of about 20 people all sharing Melon and paying like £1 a month for it. And someone's sitting there going, I'm making a £5 a month on this. So, and everyone else has gone, I'm only paying a quid. So yeah, we'll have to give that a try, because you know us, we like to experiment and we like to try stuff. Let me tell you about I think Dominic's gone, hasn't he? No,
No.
Dominic's still with us. So let me tell you what I've got up to today. I'm doing a big spoiler for a video. So the other day I did a Warhammer video, and Dominique left a message saying, shouldn't I have used primer? And the honest answer really is yes and no. Because Warhammer paint on Warhammer plastic is absolutely fine. So I've done this before, and Love Minis, you were around when I did it. So what I've done, I don't know where that come from. So what I've done is I've got 5 brands of paint, at least 4 are fairly popular paints. And I already know how some of these are going to go because I've done this before. And what I've done is I've got 10 models. All those ones with a white base, they've been primed. And all these ones with a black base have not been primed. And what I've done is I've painted 2 models with each color, one primed and one not primed. And I'm sorry about some of the hideous colors, but I wanted to use completely different colors for each model so you can see at a glance. So this one's been painted with a Humbrol 2nd generation, which I've never used on these before. This one is a Citadel paint, and I know exactly how that's going to go. This one is AK Interactive 3rd Gen, and I think I know how that's going to go. I think that's going to be quite terrible. This one is model color, and I know how that's going to go. That's going to go horrible. That will not stick. And this one is an MRP acrylic, and I have no idea how that's going to go. So I mean, I explained this on the video. Warhammer said you don't need primer because they don't make primer brush on. So years ago, Citadel used to do what they call smelly primer. There's a lot of models out there, modelers, they don't use primer on scale models. I do like primer. It just gives me that little bit of security. But when it comes to figures, I like to use a brush on primer. It just is a lot easier. Now, this is my primer of choice. I absolutely love it. People will tell me there's better primers out there, but I work on the base. If it's not broken, don't fix it. This isn't broken as far as I'm concerned. And the white is very nice, especially when you're doing a zenithal highlight. But as a brush on primer, this is terrible. It really isn't good. So anyway, they stopped doing smelly primer. There's my fourth primer. I only use this for metallics. This is a gloss. Yeah. I don't know where my white's gone. Oh, my white's still out from when I was using it today. Very, very good white. One of the best whites I've come across, in my opinion. So anyway, they stopped doing smelly primer, and I was under the impression they were bringing out a new primer, and it just wasn't coming. So I emailed Games Workshop, Warhammer, whatever they're called now, and I said, "Oh, what's happening?" Because I said I need a brush on primer, and they said, and I'm repeating what I'm going to be saying in the video. In they obviously they speak their language, and they said, in the meantime, get Abaddon Black and thin it down with Lamia Medium. Now, in everyday terms, what that means is get the heavily pigmented paint, the base paint, not the layer or the others, and then dilute it a little bit with thinner. You always dilute these because these are really thick. If you brush out of the pot, you will just end up with a mess. And I thought, really? No primer? So I did it, and it was really good. In fact, I'm going to do a spoiler. This one with no primer on it.
That was cool.
Look. That's not
That's
coming
not.
up. Now, I want to do a hard to see bit. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
That's coming off. Do you see that's come off? That's model. That's exactly how I knew, because I have done this experiment before, and these are the two paints that we used, among others. So I knew model color. Now, model color on top of a primer is very good. I'm not knocking model color, but model color, look, you can see firsthand there. That's come off.
Yeah.
Because that's got no primer on it. Now, these other three, I don't know. This one, this is my favorite paint at the moment, but I don't think is that good. I've got a feeling it won't be good without the primer. In fact, tell you what, look.
No, it's cool. Yeah.
It's not come off. That's actually okay. Do you know what? That surprised me. Well, this one I put in the might be okay category, but I'm gonna be giving it a stress test. What I'll do is I will rub it with a paintbrush, then I'll rub it with one of these, and then I'll give it a little gentle rub with a wooden stick, and then the last test will be to rub it with a bit of kitchen roll, and we'll see how it copes. But I don't know the results yet because I haven't done it, but I know how that one will go, and I know how that one will go. The others I don't know. So that will answer the question, does it need a primer? Now, I have come up with one surprising result. I never used to rate Humbrol paints, but I tell you what, out of these 5,
Yeah.
that was probably, and it's not a scientific test because I just chucked some thinner in and thinned them until they felt okay. As you can see, that one was quite thick or quite heavy. It wasn't thick because I haven't lost any detail, so the paint wasn't too thick. But of those 5 paints, that was probably the most pleasurable to paint with. That was more pleasurable than my AK Interactive, which I really enjoy painting with. And that did surprise me because I am probably the most resistant to Humbrol than any other paints. I don't like them. Them and Revel, I just don't really like them. So for me to be sitting here going, I really enjoyed painting with Humbrol. The yellow paint is MRP acrylics. I got this out of, tell you how old this is. I used to do a painting mystery box subscription, and this came with that one day. So and I just saw it. I thought, yellow. The one paint I didn't test with, which I do really like, is Scale 75. I really like them because they are so matte. They do a wood color, a leather wood color, and it actually looks like wood because it's so matte, and you almost think it's textured. All brands are for sale here, except that surprises me.
No.
That does surprise me. Funny enough, the one that I have the most trouble getting hold of is me AK Interactives. I get them from Scale Model Shop because it's the only decent company. Well, the company I trust the most, they don't stock them because most shops have to buy a minimum amount, and these sell. Some people have been buying model color for so long they now won't buy anything else, and Humbrol's been on the market for so long that people know the brand, and I know a lot of the railway modelers buy them as well, don't they?
Yeah.
These a lot of places don't stock them. So and even because Scale Model Shop charges a shipping fee, I find it's more economical to buy about 10 of them at once.
Yeah.
And that way, if you pay £5 postage, for example, and you buy a £3 bottle of paint, then it's then cost you Mamasa's got has cost you £8 for one bottle of paint. But if you buy 10 pots of paint, that's 30 quid for the paint, 35 quid, £3.50 a bottle of paint. So that's not so bad then. So I'll finish that video off tomorrow morning. I've done most of the video. I've done all the painting and that. So I've just got 2 sections to do, which is the stress test, which I've just explained, and then the conclusions. But it's looking like I've set out with a purpose to test whether you need a primer. And actually, I made other discoveries on the way. So I think it's quite an interesting result. But I ranked these in order of how I thought they would come out. And I ranked Citadel number 1, Humbrol number 2, AK Interactive number 3, then the MRP, then the model color. Then after painting with them, I reordered them, although it's not what we were setting out to do. I reordered a couple based on how nice they are to paint with. So that's why the Humbrol is number 1, and then the MRP has gone down to number 5. I think it's that one. There's 2 that I reordered anyway. Hello. You all right? You're making noise. You've been fed. You've been fussed all day and you've just played. Why do you need to make noise? Come on then. Good boy. Come and see your audience. They want to come and see you. Come on then. Come. Come on then. Come. Come. No. She will. She just loves all the fuss. Oh, lovely Spirit. If I give Spirit a lot of fuss, sometimes that gets Shadow to come up. Come on then. Come on, you fat boy. Come on, fat boy. This is big boy, big fat one. I think he is losing weight. Not a lot, but he's losing a little bit.
Yeah.
Love of my life, this one. So, and you do sleep. He got this thing again now where in the middle of the night, he'll just start purring and then he'll just bite my nose. And I'm like, what? And then he looks at me and he's like, breakfast? You're awake now, breakfast? And I'm like, yes, you woke me. It doesn't count. So, hi, East Coast. How are you? Unfortunately, I'm close to the end of my stream, but hi, Penny, Chris, Don, Peter Lubman, he's Plastic Alchemist, MP, David B. Terry, BWTB, Building with the Boys.
Yeah, East Coast UK. Yeah, how are you? Yeah.
So good to see you home. Okay, Bet the cat's glad. Oh, do you know what? Didn't see any flooding. I didn't see it. The only rain. It was quite funny on the train up to Preston. The train from Preston to Scotland. They were explaining about the weather conditions, and they were explaining about the speed restrictions. And the sun was beaten down through the window. And then she goes, I know it looks nice weather now, but once we get over the border, you'll see the weather get worse. And then we stopped at Lockerbie, which is an extra stop. Stop eating my tubes. And then we pulled out of Lockerbie, and about 5 minutes later, rain. But it was normal, what I'd call Glasgow rain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's but I've not really seen any massive floods or anything. I've heard about them. I think it's probably more, the city's not affected so much. But out in the countryside, they're probably what's the word I'm looking for? They're probably cut off from humanity. So but from what I gather, the roads are all right. So they can still get their Tesco's delivery. So they can get their Buckfast delivered by Tesco's and Co-op, can't they?
Yeah.
Deny a Scotsman is Buckfast, and then you've got trouble. All right, guys. So that is it. Then I'm going to finish the stream now. I don't think there's much I can rabbit on about. I know I can rabbit on for England, but I've got to change that saying. I know Coatbridge. I know Coatbridge very well. because there's the bus from Hamilton goes through Motherwell and it goes, I think it terminates at Coatbridge.
Yeah.
My lad lives in Coatbridge, not spoke to him, so no idea if it's bad. I don't know. It could be bad in Coatbridge because that's a little bit out more in the sticks. So you're playing with my toes now, are you, Missy? So the cat's really beautiful with that white stripe on her. It's actually, but I'm not gonna. But I've always said that white stripe, it looks more like an egg timer because it kind of goes in the middle. So,
cool.
Maybe one day if I'm angry with him, I'll just crack an egg on his head and I'll go, right, now time that until it's cooked. But do you know what? I know it's a cliche, but these cats have changed my life. They've given me a bit more purpose in life, and it's just the little things. And once they get a little bit older, you know, they want all the attention in the morning, what with breakfast and stuff like that, and just give them breakfast, and then they're just pretty lazy all day. They just laze around.
Yeah.
And then it gets towards the evening, I give them a bit of an evening meal, and then they'll have a little play. And in about an hour's time, they'll start doing what I call evil play. Shadow will have hit her pinned down at some point, and she'll be screaming for her life, and then he'll let go, and then she'll just pounce on him, and then they'll be running up and down the house just as I'm trying to sleep. And do you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. It's funny the things you put up with, because V was saying about he got a hair in his dinner, and I just looked at him and I went, "You're in a cat house now. You're going to get hairs in your dinner all the time." And then he did some washing and he said, "Oh, I've got cat hairs on." Yeah, you're in a cat house now.
Yeah.
It's like you with your dog. How many dog hairs do you eat per day? I bet you eat at least one or two, don't you?
Don't know.
Yeah, I bet you cook a dinner, you sit down, there's a max hair sticking out of it. And it's just, you're a dog owner, you just got to get used to it.
Yeah, it's fine.
If this was a restaurant and I had health inspectors come round, different story, but
yeah, you would be, yeah.
And I'm a bit of a believer that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So, you know, cat hairs haven't killed me yet. So, and every time you eat something interesting, you're going to have two cats staring at you, probably one each side going, "Oh, that looks nice, your little bit of fish there." And I'll be, "Yeah, we're not having any." And she's extra stubborn. She runs in the bathroom. I pick her up. I put her in the hallway. She runs straight back in the bathroom again. She wants to go in the bathroom. She will go in. Shadow's a little bit well trained. The only thing about Shadow is that when he comes out of the bathroom, he doesn't quite come all the way, and you can't open the door because you trap his tail in the doorway. So I have to sit there and I go, "Tail, tail," and then I don't know if he does it coincidentally, but he kind of shakes his tail and it comes out of the doorway, and then I just shut the door. I don't know if he knows what he's doing. I don't suppose for a minute he does, but yeah. But he's I don't know what he's doing at the moment. Sometimes they have their private moments and they try and hide up from each other, and I don't know if they both enjoy it or. But yeah, it's just. They have their little routine, and you have to kind of work your life around their routine. You know, I'm not making models in the first hour that I get up because I've just got cats hassling me. But about an hour, take 2 or 3 hours after I've sorted them out for breakfast, I can do whatever I want because they'll just sit and just chill and laze about. And I don't know if other cats have a different routine, but Shadow is the boss in the house, and both Nymeria and Spirit have worked into his routine. So whether he's gone, "This is my house, this is how the routine is," or if that's how cats work in general, I don't really know. So I'm sure someone will tell me if their cats have a different routine. But yeah, it's get up, sleep, nap most of the day, have a little play, have another little nap, start playing big time in the evening, and then they'll chill out at night. And then they might have a play in the night. I don't always notice.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
He'll feel a little bit cuddly about 3 or 4 in the morning, and he'll start biting my nose. And then I'll kind of go, no, I don't like my nose being built. So sometimes he'll just get under the covers with me, and then I fall asleep again, and I wake up, and I've got Shadow on one side of me and Spirit on the other. And then I'm building with the boys. Why am I not surprised that you have a cat called Ecto? Why does that not shock me at all?
I can see why, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not shocked. But that's a good name for a cat, though, isn't it? I mean,
Sounds like, yeah.
Funnily enough, I named. Normally, we let animals name themselves. When I got Shadow, I shut him in the bedroom just to give him a smaller Goza and Zool. I don't know what those names are, Goza and Zool. But yeah, so he was exploring. He was hiding in the shadows. I think he was very wary, so that's why I called him Shadow. Admittedly, Nymeria, I wanted a Nymeria. I wanted a Game of Thrones related name. And in all fairness, she lived up to the name Nymeria. She was a proper warrior. I mean, like I say, she was half the size of Shadow. And, they are all, yeah. Oh, of course, yeah, they are, yeah. I wanted a dog I could name Vigo, but the wife wouldn't. Yeah, that's the trouble. See, when I got a dog when I was young, I was big time into wrestling back then, back when it was WWF. And two of my favorite wrestlers was $1 Million Man and the Big Boss Man. I absolutely loved them. And I wanted to call my dog Virgil. And if you're a wrestling fan, you will get that.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I called him Deefa in the end, as in Deefa dog. But yeah, Nymeria was called Nymeria because I wanted a Game of Thrones related name.
Yeah.
And she lived up to that name. And then Spirit, I brought her home, and I really couldn't think what to name her. And literally within 5 minutes of bringing her home, I was potentially stupid. I opened the cat carrier. She pokes her head out. Shadow spits at her, bonks her on the head, and then steps back. And then Spirit just went, yeah, all right, whatever. And then got out of the carrier and just started exploring the kitchen. And when my neighbor saw her, she went, she's got a lot of spirit. And I went, yeah, that's the name, Spirit.
Nice.
But if she wants something, she will do her best to get it. When she first learned to jump, so it was funny, she's learning to jump up on the kitchen sideboards, on the kitchen side worktops, but she couldn't get down. Now, the way because I had the cat carrier in the kit, I always leave the cat carriers out so they get used to them. So it's not just you're going to the vet, shove you in the cat carrier. And because I had the cat carrier in the kitchen, the only way she could get up on the kitchen worktop was to jump on the cat carrier, then jump up from there. But obviously, jumping down the distance there she is. I don't know if you just saw her just there.
Yeah.
She just went past. Loves that. Both of them love that windowsill. So I think jumping down on the cat carrier looked a further distance than jumping up.
We're back in a sec.
She'd sit there on the worktop meowing because she can't get down, and I'd just be sitting there looking at her and going, you got yourself up, you can get yourself down. And then eventually she'd jump down, and now she just leaps up, no problems. But she's such an affectionate cat. She's a lot like Shadow in that she don't seek attention all the time, but she'll grab it when she gets the opportunity. If you're gonna give her a bit of a cuddle, she'll quite happily take it. There she is. She's just gone past again. Okay, I'm going to move Chris. If you just saw her tail there, just behind the curtain. I'm pointing at it with the cursor, but it's just there. I think they're both behind the same curtain, so there might be a play fight in a moment. And I haven't got my channel logo in the window. That just happens to be reflection from my monitor. I don't have a lit up. I'm not posh enough to have a lit up display. Although I am considering one of those little cinema-y signs. I know Scott's got one. You know, the little white sign, and you put the words in, put the letters in. When I was at the Transport Museum the other month, they've got light up tube signs.
Yeah.
I was sort of looking at that, and I'm thinking, yeah, could I get? And I just thought, well, it's a light box with something in it, so I might look, especially if I can get that cricket. I might look at making a little white light box and then have my little channel logo on it and make me own. But what I was originally going to do, because I was into buses when I first started this channel, I've still got it on my eBay. What's still not sold, an authentic Routemaster bell. And what I want to do was set like a bus stopping sign up on the top there. And I thought what I could do is switch on, you know, like the on-air signs that you do in studios and things.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of having on air, I'd have bus stopping. And then at the end of the stream, I could press the button and it would ring the bell and then turn the sign off. And
that's cool.
A nice little touch. But I do see there's a model I need to get. The Revell 1:24 scale Routemaster. Why have I not bought that? It's quite a few bus models I want to get, but one thing I want to do is add variety to the channel. I don't want to do like if I did 4 consecutive RAF builds, for example, and then follow that up with 4 consecutive ships, and then do 14 buses. So I want to mix and match it. That's why I quite like the idea of doing that Apollo 5, because that's a little bit of a reset, isn't it? Once you've done a spaceship, you can do just about anything you want after that, and it'll be different. So, right, guys, I'm going to call it a night now. So thank you for everyone that's commented and watched, or just watched or commented. So I'm going to call it a night now. So thank you very much. Chris, do you got anything to add? Anything exciting to tell us?
I'll probably be streaming tomorrow night instead, or Wednesday, depends.
Okay. So possibly tomorrow. So the best way to find out when Chris is streaming is to pop over to his channel, hit the subscribe button, turn the notifications on, and then when he sets his stream up, it'll come up on the notifications. Yeah.
I've got some full day anyway, so I'm just going to have something to watch a bit of TV probably.
My next live stream is going to be, let me check my calendar, it's going to be the 29th of October, but it won't be a live stream, it'll be a recorded, because the 29th of October is when I go back to London. So I'll make the video probably the Saturday. Probably won't be an awful lot to update, to be honest with you. I can't see much. Obviously, when I go to London, I'm away for 3 weeks, so all the posts and everything builds up. Now I'm home for 3 weeks, everything will be collected and sorted. So it'll probably be a quick recorded one. But my next actual live is going to be 19th of November, which is when I come back from my next London trip for my week's holiday. So if I get the odd opportunity, to be honest with you, I quite enjoy Hijack and Chris's streams. So if I get a night off, jump onto Chris's stream and just do a little bit of chilling out.
That's right. Yeah.
I quite like building not for YouTube. It's, you know, a little bit of something for me. It's quite nice. I know it's a little bit selfish and not sharing my modeling with you guys, but I think sometimes you just need to be selfish.